So we're back again, and we have some questions that you've either submitted through your application form when you registered for this event, and some are going to be coming in as well. So I do apologise if I keep looking at my iPad here. It's because some of your questions that come in live we'll try to address. I don't think I'll be able to get through all of them, but let's see how we go. The question that quite a few of you put on your registration forms was about pupils in class and the maximum sizes. We're unique here in the fact that we have small numbers in the year group. We try to keep staff feeling manageable in terms of pupils' learning experience. It varies in every year group, and the juniors tend to be slightly smaller than the seniors, but we believe that small class sizes contribute to the happiness and success of every pupil. So I can't answer directly with numbers, but we try to keep them really small. A question that just came up actually just here was about mixing boys and girls. I think by the flavour of some of these questions you've said, how do we ensure that girls mix with boys? Obviously that won't be so relevant from next year because we are taking boys in reception downwards in September 2021, as you know, so we will be co-educational, but that won't be necessarily the same the rest of the school. However, I do recognise that many parents are concerned that their girls won't get to mix with boys. The answer to that is they do. We're part of the Oak Tree group of schools. The other schools are all mixed. We get together, boys and girls, from those schools for trips, events, competitions, whole school activities such as the Year 3 camp, which is really exciting. We take part in national and regional events through the ISA, and that's pupils from all over Britain who are boys and girls in all different variety of settings that come from. In addition, our GCSE subjects, well, some of them are shared between Normanhurst and Braeside, and that means Normanhurst pupils either coming here or Braeside pupils going over to Normanhurst, which is another Oak Tree group of schools, and we provide that balanced experience for girls so that when they join sixth form, they're equipped to work alongside many different people and their peers. A question that was submitted through the registration process earlier this week was about being a small school and how do pupils know what competition looks like, and I'm going to hand over to Gretchen Copeman, who's going to answer that one.
Well, firstly, as Chloe's already mentioned, we're part of a group of 4 schools, so competition on a smaller scale happens right from the junior school, where we take part in competitions such as mental arithmetic with the other schools. We might do a spelling bee or a general knowledge quiz throughout the year. That means getting together at one of those schools, and there are winners and there are losers in those, so that's competition on a smaller scale. We're also part of the ISA, which means that our children have the opportunity to take part in events and competitions all over the country. This might be sport, art, drama. We do writing competitions as well. And we take part in bigger sports fixtures as well through the ISA. We took part in the parliamentary debating competition last year, and the pupils from Braeside were awarded Best Newcomer Award as well. Healthy competition is really important, and we aim to give pupils exposure to lots of different competitive events to prepare them for their life when they leave us.
Thank you. A question that was submitted quite frequently on your registration forms was about the benefits of class sizes. So Gretchen, do you want to answer that one as well?
Yeah, I'll answer that one. And actually, it's not just parents that make comments about our small class sizes, it's also the teachers. When you've worked in a variety of settings, our teachers say that the biggest thing that they crave is small class sizes. It produces a productive relationship between staff and pupils. It means that your contact with the pupils is near on constant throughout your lessons. Marking's meaningful and it's personalised to the learning of the individual, and constant verbal feedback is given to the children. We can focus on specific strengths and areas of improvement throughout the lesson when we've got small class sizes. The pupils get to know each other really, really well. Chloe and I are in and out of those classrooms. We get to know the pupils really well, and we get to celebrate their successes in meaningful and sincere ways. Yeah, agree. I'm just looking on here because somebody who's watching right now has just said, do you have bullying and how do we deal with it? So Gretchen, I'll pass you on that one as well. It's a question we're asked a lot. There's potential for bullying in all settings. We have an anti-bullying policy. That's the most important thing. All staff know the procedures and how we deal with things and how we'll support children if we find that bullying has happened. being a small school means that lots of issues don't go unnoticed. The class teacher, the form tutors, MDAs, teaching assistants, they can deal with these really quickly. We involve and we listen to all pupils that might be having issues, and we resolve difficulties really quickly and sensitively as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. A question that was put forward by 2 or 3 people on the registration form was about recognising and celebrating the talents of pupils throughout the school, and how do we do that? And I think I'm going to start with the example of when we had a period of time where we weren't open. We obviously still Zoomed lessons and we Zoomed assembly, and the girls in the school, the senior girls in the school, wanted to join in the junior assembly that we had, was called Purple Book. So we give them opportunities to take the lead and show their talents. And they definitely took the lead in that example, because they said, you know, Miss Moon, we really want to do this assembly, can we do it? And it's all about the pupils as the stakeholder. I really want to celebrate the ideas that they have and give them an opportunity to lead and talk to me and collaborate with the whole of the school. And that was really successful. We have house points, which mean that they can either earn those house points as a collective if they do teamwork or for their individual pieces of work. And if they uphold our aims and values through their positive actions, then they will get a house point. It's not just simply for the work that they do, it's for the work that they do as a whole community, as a school. You know, on a weekly basis, we now hold what they call the Purple Book Assembly. It's Achievement Assembly. That was completely designed by the girls. It was their idea. You know, at the moment, obviously it's virtual, but we have certificates and postcards for their good work, and that's what they wanted. I'm just going to go through here. I'm aware that something's just popped up at the corner of my eye. It says here, what are the benefits of an all-through education? As you know, we go from kindergarten all the way through to GCSE to year 11. And I'm sure when you listen to Abby and Kira saying about how we've changed this year, they love being on site that can accommodate pupils from kindergarten to year 11. I think it's really fostered a different sense of responsibility, because they've taken roles on throughout the school that they may not have had before, and they're aware themselves that they're a positive role model. Our older pupils really love supporting the younger pupils. It's either through their play or through their learning, and they quite often read or share their experiences of school, or just give them a friendly smile. And the younger pupils are really thrilled when an older pupil comes into their classroom or reads with them or tells them something. You know, it builds these really strong relationships between all pupils. I think staff find the all-through education really rewarding, especially because we have pupils who start with us from a very young age and they go through their whole of their career at Braeside here, and you get to see the outcomes at the other end when they go off to sixth form, when they achieve those grades. And there's no greater feeling for a teacher, but especially a head teacher, when you see a successful young person walk out of the door at Braeside with a great personality, exceptional grades, going on to do something that they love. There's no greater feeling than that. A question that was submitted on the registration form was about what our curriculum looks like. And again, I'm going to hand over to Gretchen for that.
Our curriculum is broad and it's balanced, and we're very proud of it. It addresses the needs and the talents of all of our pupils. Of course, we follow the core subjects that you would expect to find in every single school. And our language that we teach from kindergarten right through to GCSE is French, and we add Spanish in from year 7 onwards. Both of those subjects are offered at GCSE too. To enhance our junior curriculum in particular, we do philosophy for children. We embed that from reception right through to year 6. And we think it develops critical thinking and emotional intelligence in younger children. But that philosophical and ethical type of thinking goes right through Key Stage 3 and into GCSE, because we offer religious studies. Being part of a through school means that we use our specialist teachers all the way through, right from kindergarten to GCSE. And that's through music, art, PE, drama, computing, and French. And they go right from reception all the way through to GCSE.
Thank you. A question that's just popped in here is about what extra support do you give pupils? So I'm just going to kind of tell you what that looks like, really. You might have seen from the staff list that I'm also the Senko here. What does it look like? Well, support is different for every individual pupil, so I couldn't tell you a blanket way that we support children. Essentially, support is always best delivered by the class teacher through Quality First Teaching, because they are the experts in their field. But we do recognise that some children need extra support, whether it's in class or out of class. Some children need that. We will make sure we liaise with parents, with staff, with the child, and on occasions professionals outside of the school to discuss those next steps in that support. But as we're really small, we look at those needs on an individual basis and make an informed decision for the individual. So there's no one blanket way. There's lots of different ways that we do it. It completely depends on the child. I'm going to take another question off here, if that's all right, Gretchen. It's about how do you assess pupils throughout their time at school?
And that goes hand in hand a little bit with, because our assessment informs the support that we put in for children, and Chloe's just answered that as well. We do lots of assessment throughout the school. Some of it is formal, some of it's informal assessment. I do believe that it's not about number crunching. I think Chloe agrees too. Our assessment is for the pupils, and it's really important that we look carefully at what we do with it. But if we strip it back and we look at exactly how we do it. So in junior pupils, when they come back in September, are assessed right at the beginning of the year. That's baseline assessment from reception through to year 6. Some of that is done on computer-based programs, and some of it is done in real life. So that will be physical papers in maths, reading, writing and spelling. The computer-based program for the reception children isn't done en masse. That's done on a one-to-one basis with a teacher entering the answers that the child gives. And it's INCAS for our junior pupils. Then throughout the year, we're assessing subjects in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's at the beginning of a subject, a knowledge harvest. We want to know what the children already know, and then we want to know what they've learned at the end of that topic. That helps us plan as well, because there's no point in teaching the children about the Egyptians, for example, if you've got half of your class already know lots about it. Let's look at it from a different angle. The same goes for core subjects such as maths and English. The children can surprise you sometimes with the things that they've absorbed throughout the years. So it helps us tailor make our curriculum for the year. Then if we go into year 7, the year 7 pupils take an ability test that ranks the pupils' ability. We share the data with the staff, and then we can benchmark and assess throughout the year. The same happens with year 10. Pupils are given a grade band and a minimum predicted grade for their GCSEs. We're encouraging them to set themselves aspirational targets. Chloe talked about that earlier. And pupils are assessed every half term. Then the data is analysed on a regular basis, and then it goes back to the question before, the intervention and the support can be applied appropriately. And then at the end of the year, all pupils will have end of year exams. Lots of feedback that follows, so they know where they've got to go, what the next steps are for them. And the ultimate exams that we offer being the GCSEs that all pupils age 16 will be taking up and down the country.
Yeah, and I think it's worth adding that it's very much an individual basis. So that feedback and that continuing improvement is to do with the individual. I'm just going to go here. Someone's just put a question in which says about how do we, and I think it means as parents, know how our child is doing at school. And this is a common question we get on tours, actually. We think we do this really well because we're extremely open and honest. You're really likely to see the junior staff at the beginning and the end of the day for a handover. You can speak to them then. Every half term, we aim to have a drop-in morning at the juniors where parents can come in, meet the teacher, have a look around the classroom at the displays and the amazing work the children have been working on. We have regular parents' evenings. We're still going to have those parents' evenings in a COVID-safe way this term, and you can meet the teaching staff then. We'll also give you a summative document, and that tells you all about your child's strengths and the things that they need to work on. So it's really a partnership between pupil, parent and teacher at that point. We have regular reporting that occurs, and you can view your child's achievements and their reports on the portal, where you'll get a login and you can just see that at any time. You can print them at any time. You can see them over time. But ultimately, my door is always open. Our door is always open. And as a school, we'd love to have a chat with you about your child's work. Just pick up the phone, email us, or come and chat to us. A question that we had on the registration form was, how early do you start phonics and writing? And I think I'll pass to Gretchen on that one.
So phonics they're the grassroots of reading and writing. You can't begin to read and you can't begin to write until you know your phonics. It's different for every individual child. Some children are simply not ready when they enter in lower kindergarten, but some children are raring to go. So what we do is, it's built into the kindergarten day. There will be an element of phonics every single day, where it might be the teacher leading the sound of the week. It might be an activity that's carefully crafted to go over the sound of the week, to draw it, to colour it, to paint it. It can be sounds, it could just be recognition and repetition. It could be actually writing it, having a go at it. When we move into upper kindergarten and into reception, that's when we look at blending. We provide lots of opportunities to write. It might be paper and pencils, it might be paint, it might be writing in sand or other medium. But the journey starts when the children are ready. So the opportunity is there, the information is there, the lessons and the input are there, but it can't begin until your child is ready. So lower kindergarten is about equipping people with the skills to be able to start writing and start reading, developing their fine motor skills. You can't write a letter until you can hold a pencil properly. And yeah, that's what we do. It's individual, but the opportunities are there.
Yeah, I think that's the message that we're trying to convey here, is that it looks different for everybody and we tailor things to the individual's needs. I'm going to take 2 more questions, and I'm going to take them actually from those of you that are submitting questions online. So one of them that was submitted about 5 minutes ago was, what does kindergarten look like? What's the day look like? Do you want to answer that one? Yeah,
I like this question, because
me too.
Kindergarten days should look different every day. There is a timetable. So our kindergarten is in a school, and so kindergarten, by virtue of being in a school, it means that they are part of the rhythms and the routines that make up a school life. So in normal non-COVID times, kindergarten come to our assemblies. They have a formal time where it's playtime and a certain time for lunchtime. So that's the rhythm and the routine. There is also a plan for the week. Our teachers do plan. It's not minute by minute planning, but there will be topics, there will be sounds of the week, there might be numbers of the week or a mathematical concept. But every day is different because it's child-centred. The weather plays an enormous part in the day in kindergarten, particularly at this time of year. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the staff had planned for today, but it's dry today. We've had days and days of rain, so I know for certain that they'll be outside at some point today. Even if it's looking at signs of autumn or looking for mini beasts, the staff will take that opportunity. That doesn't mean we don't go outside when it rains. The children have their Wellingtons, they have their coats, they will be outside. But it's about the interests, the topic that's come up that day, the talents of the pupils. You know, what is it that we want to do with loosely what we've planned today? What's our topic? Our topic might be, one of them is vehicles. We have that at some point in the year. Is it a brilliant day to go out and to do a traffic survey and see which vehicles we're going to see? So we try and make it as child-led as possible. All our early years practitioners want to further develop the pupils' knowledge, their understanding of the world, and spontaneous curiosity has to be at the heart of that.
Yeah, and that's why the site lends itself so well to kindergarten, because we have trees, we have grass, we have meadow areas, we have a road, we have a cricket pitch. That just lends itself really well to early years.
It does. And in actual fact, even though we're a little bit further away on this site, we still plan to walk to a post box to post our letters to Santa. We'll visit a post office. It could be Loughton or Buckhurst Hill, and we might even walk to a supermarket to buy the ingredients for our cookery that week.
Yeah, that sounds great. There's a question that popped up here, and I'm going to have this as the last one because I think we've spoken for quite a long time. It says, why don't you offer ballet, and what clubs do you offer? Well, I can answer that about ballet actually. Believe it or not, we're asked that quite often when parents come into school, and we find that the pupils that we have here actually do ballet outside of school in some of the excellent classes that offer it in the evening, and they tend not to want to have it when they come here. However, we have got a range of extracurricular clubs and activities, so starting from breakfast breakfast club. That's the simplest. It's offered to all pupils in the school from 7:30. They can be dropped off and have a lovely breakfast and do some craft or some activities with the staff. The junior day ends at 3:30, and then we have tea time club, which we offer the same kind of thing. So they might be outside playing, they could be making something, they could be designing something, painting, until 6 p.m. The other clubs that we offer are either externally provided or internally provided. So they include cookery, street dance, which the children love, and actually they prefer street dance to ballet, karate, art club, Spanish club, coding, and a variety of sports clubs throughout the weeks, which are seasonal, so they quite often change. For example, we have gardening club, which we obviously have at the moment, but when the weather gets a little bit more adverse, we'll change that club to something else, like construction club, just because it fits in with the weather. There's very little gardening you can do on the site when it's pouring down with rain. They're really, really popular, our clubs, and parents book in advance for those. If you want any more information, then I'd suggest going to our website, because you can see them all on there. And just to note that they do change. So if you saw a club once in the autumn term and it's not on again, it's because it's seasonal. So just be aware of that. I think we're going to stop there, because I've been talking for a rather long time. I hope you found these questions useful. Some of them that I know were asked live, and some of them you put on your registration form when you signed up for this. I can address all of those questions. Please just pick up the phone or email us, or get in touch with Mrs Amy, and she'll be able to answer some of those questions as well. But more importantly, I'd really love it if you could book a personal tour. And we've had parents come in already before this event, and it's been really lovely to see you, but we're more than happy to show you around, and then just have a chat about what life is like at Braeside, about your child, what the educational journey is going to look like here. All of this information that we have said is going to be sent to you with some other bits of information as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoy your day, and I'm really looking forward to you coming around the school and see what it's like. Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye.